there are two issues here. There are two issues here, if I may. One, was Baba Ramdev opportunistic? He was. Did Baba Ramdev try to spin this yarn that Coronel will save you from COVID? He did. Did Baba Ramdev deliberately, and he's so conscious of the camera, place laboratories and the set of studio setups of people working in labs behind him to give the impression that there was a deep science behind Coronel, almost making it look like he had found a cure to COVID? He did. Did he know he's going to make lots of money? He did. Did he therefore prey on the insecurities of people? He did. Did he use his standing as a spiritual leader to market his product and make money at an appropriate time through a mix of spirituality and fake science or fake scientific claims about curing COVID? He did. Is that wrong? It is. Did he put it in a way that poorest of people would use Coronel to save their lives? He did. Did he run down everybody else? He did. Did he try to make it look like he had on one magical evening found a cure to COVID? He did. Therefore, was he trying to increase his personal valuation on the back of lies as well as misleading advertising? He did. I will go to that clarity and go to that detail, and many people, including news channels, were misled. Now, there's no doubt about that. Let us not fool ourselves. In our country, anybody who wears saffron is respected, and generally Baba Ramdev did use a mix of spirituality and business and commerce and smart marketing, misleading statements to make money for himself. No doubt about it. But now is my question. Can anybody watching the program tonight say that he was the only one? My question is, Swapnil, if you're a foreign company and not a Swami or a Baba, and you do exactly the same thing and more, and you don't just do it during COVID, you do it round the year, 365/7, you spend lots of money, claim that you will change people's lives, children's health, but you are not just giving them something that is not a solution. You are giving them something that will make them diabetic, that will make them hypertensive, that will make them sick, that will spoil their liver, their heart, their mind, their brain, their bloodstream. Push them towards toxic use of materials that on a long-term basis are toxic for the human body, potentially even cancerous. You will do all that. And you will sit around and then say, let's call some advertising company, give a smart campaign, put 100 crore ad out, say we are a foreign company, we are not answerable to anyone. Nobody will question you. Because the reality is that Baba Ramdev is a quasi-political guy. He's seen to be on, supporting the present political establishment, so you target him. The others will say we are corporates. We can do that same thing and more. We can ruin your lives all through the year. But nobody will question us. Are we going to deny this? There is a lobby at play out here. And I think the Supreme Court, what it has said, I'll take a little time. The Supreme Court has said, we are not just concerned with Patanjali. You see, these lobbies will only report about Patanjali. But what has the court said? We are not just concerned with Patanjali. We are concerned with all those FMCGs, fast-moving consumer good items, food, powder, this, that, health drink, supplement, toothpaste, which have been taking their consumers up a garden path, showing them a rosy picture of what their products can do, when the reality is completely different. The consumers eventually suffer health issues. We are concerned for them. But nobody is mentioning them by name. They are only mentioning Patanjali, Swapnil. The feeling is Patanjali is the bad guy, everybody is good. No, I am saying Patanjali is 5% of the problem.
Yes.
Can I?
Absolutely, Arnab, you are absolutely right there. The observations of the Supreme Court are extremely important and have a very, very wide ramification. Thank God for the Supreme Court and thank God for the Republic TV to take up this so seriously today. Arnab, what is at play here is that the Drugs and Licensing Authority is very much in cahoots with the big corporates. And in this particular case here, yes, you noticed the sarcastic tone of Justice Amanullah and also the very, very trenchant words used by Justice Hima Kohli as ripping apart. Normally, in my 30 years of practice, I haven't seen the Supreme Court using this kind of a language, but I can understand its ire and its wrath. And, God save you if you invoke the wrath of the Supreme Court. And this would apply to all the other FMCG companies as well. The point that you have raised is extremely, extremely pertinent, that it should not stop at Patanjali. The Supreme Court has got a very, very wide amplitude and tremendous power within its reach to send notices to all possible FMCG companies upon its own research, upon its own findings that it can get done, or upon the things that are there. And it ought to do that, because this case will finish
Drag
with
them
Patanjali at the end of the day with its apologies, or maybe
all
a
the
huge
FMCG
penalty or anything of
companies
that sort.
It'll be sad.
But look at the act. Look at the nomenclature of the act. The drugs and medical remedies bracket objectionable advertisements. Now, FSSAI, ASCI, Indian Medical Association, all these people, drugs and licensing authorities, they have got ample powers under all their respective statutes to come out and control and govern. But somewhere there is a tremendous amount of, conspiracy or possibly cahoots nature that you've seen the observations of the Supreme Court. Now, this is exactly the issue. And I appeal to
ASCI
the
should be
Supreme Court
asked
of
why
India
it has
through
never
your
stepped
channel
in.
that it
ASCI
needs
has
to
never stepped
write
in.
and take in all the FMCG companies that are at folly. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to arrest this problem of misleading advertisements, and the corporate profits are going to jump through the roof, sitting on a pile of corpses.